Hey there, it's Chris, and welcome back to the next part of the Bang Shishigami project. I believe we're up to part 18 now, where if you remember last time, we made a face. And I hardened it off camera. You can see I made myself a little jig here so that I could get the heat to get all the way around the thing. So we're good to go. That is made. And let's go bring you up and in. And this time, we're going to see if we can build the rest of the head, the neck, and kind of get this all connected in here. So to begin with, we're just going to jump right into it, because I'm not sure if I have a lot of stuff I need to do today or not that much stuff to do today. I'm actually not entirely sure which of the two it is. Now, I don't really need the glue on this. I'm going to be really shoving this in, but just so I know this gets on here nicely, I don't have to think about it. We're going to add the glue to the back and instantly get the stuff all over my fingers, which is awesome. I am literally 1 minute into this and I already have stuff over my fingers. Also not sure how much glue is left in this container anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if that runs out at literally any given point in time. But yeah, with that there, it's time to build the head. Now the head may be misshapen by the end of this, and that's gonna be okay, because I may have, oh, sorry about that. I may have like a void or something on top. Remember, when I do the hair is gonna add mass to this whole thing in the end. So we need to keep in, I'm not doing the hair in this segment. We just need to keep in mind there will be hair going on this, and when I do, that will add more to the mass of everything, and that will help iron out anything that might be misshapen or whatnot in the end. Like I said, right now it's flat on top here. I can just keep that flat, because then the hair can go right on there, and it's going to work its way out and be good. Now, nice thing with this one, as opposed to the last one I did, the Night Witch, is Rain was very the very kid-like character and kind of a more kind of cartoonish looking character. So the head was like 3 times the size of this. So this should use up significantly less material to get this to work and look correct, and look at least as correct as I can get it. And also along with that, we've had this big piece kind of sticking up here. If you look at where it's kind of going to be, we're going to probably need to cut that down a little bit in the end. But again, it's always nicer leaving those long in the beginning rather than making it too short and having problems. It's better to be long with problems, because we can always cut that down. And technically, we can always add more to it. We just shove another wire right down in and go off of that if we do have something too short. But it feels like it's easier to fix something when it's one way versus the other. And hold on, I gotta get some of this super glue off my thumb so I can feel what I'm working with, because it's a really not good feeling when I can't feel what I'm actually trying to build with. And nice thing is there's nothing delicate on this face. This is probably one of the most masculine faces I've made in a long time. Like I said, last male character I had was Link from the very original Legend of Zelda, who was a kid. I think Orin is probably my last like adult male character, and that was like 2 years ago. So it's been a while since I've done this kind of looking face before, but nah, so far so good. Schools, yeah, get the face done, kind of get the neck going on here, stick the ears on. Even though he has so much hair, you may not even see the ears in the end, but we should probably still stick them on anyway. And then see if we can get it situated, and if he's on there and we still have time, it would be nice to actually harden it right now, because once that's done, if we zoom into one of these two faces, we zoom into this face here, you can see he has that green kind of choker that goes on his neck. So once we harden him on here, just like when I did the body and I cut it in half right from the hardening, or right after the hardening. Same thing, as soon as I put him on and harden it, I'm going to cut along the neckline there, and we're going to use that piece of fabric to hide that cut mark. So I would really like to do that one on camera rather than off, but we're going to see how time allows for that to work. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'm not going to have any promises on it, but it would be nice to have that one in here. I'm looking at this is definitely a face. I think painting is going to help this one a lot. Because I don't know if it's good or bad. I really don't know if this is a well done face or a very not well done face, but we're gonna find out. But at least now within like the first 5-6 minutes, whatever, we're already starting to get a head going, even if I'm doing it off screen, because I keep not having this thing zoomed in. I gotta move my mouse around because I keep getting all these kinds of lines over my preview, which isn't helping. I would still like to kind of see what you guys are kind of seeing. Might be good. Might be good. Alright, I know I don't need to add anything up top here. Again, anything up top is really not necessary, just because of the hair situation. But, okay, getting this smoothed in on the side is probably also not super necessary, because he has those kind of mutton chops that come down the sides that really do a number on hiding everything. So a lot of this seam, the nice part about this is, yeah, the seam itself is really going to be hidden in the end. So I'm not super concerned with that. But we do kind of want, at least once we start getting to the neck area, which should just be within a couple minutes, that we do kind of want to be a little more correct, because this is one of the few where the neck kind of is exposed on this. I know he has that big old scarf that comes down that really, when he goes on a shelf or he goes on display or wherever he's going to go at my place, I'm very likely not going to be looking inside him. So most of the neck, by and large, will be hidden in the end. But at the same time, it can be visible. And for that, we do kind of got to get it kind of correct. Even if it's not going to be displayed in such a way that it's going to be readily visible, we still got to make it right, because from the right angle, yeah, it will be. And just like that, got ourselves a little kind of head going here. I think I'm not still 100% on camera as well as I want to be. We're getting skinny back here. We don't want to be skinny on the back. We don't need an ET neck going on. That would also be wrong. His has got to look built. Everything has got to be built, built, built. This guy is a powerful guy. Again, he's pretty much the strongest fighter in his village. He is the protector of his village. He's got to look powerful. That face is power face right there. That is that is a thing. Oh, until the hair goes on these. I love just looking at the faces before you get the hair stuff on, because they always look so funky before the hair goes on. Every one of them just looks so weird and just, I'd say, charismatic before the hair goes on. It's like, how is this actually going to turn into what I want it to actually turn into? But in the end, it does tend to work too, so there we go. Alright, let's start building down the neck. We are 10 minutes into this. We already have the head done. Let's start building down. Well, done. Let's start building down the neck. And let's see if we can find better things to talk about this time than anime last time. That wasn't on one of the list of things I had anticipated going into before, but it just kind of found its way there. But maybe we can just talk about this the whole time. But once we get done with this, then I'm back to a crossroads again. If I get this section done, I can either finish off the hair on him and make him look good, or have him just like as his face have this whole area then finally be fine. Or I can put the jacket and sleeves and get like the arms and just get the other main portion done. This time, the scarf is probably going to actually be the last thing. Scarf is one of the earlier things done on the last couple, both on Cat and on Rain. But I think on him, Scarf is going to come like really kind of near the end. Because there's really no reason to jump onto that one. It goes on top of the jacket, so I need the jacket done anyway. And typically the way I do kind of the jacket and arm stuff is I'll figure out the hands. And I'm starting to get a very alien looking form going on here. I think I keep adding more to the back when I shouldn't be. Yeah, usually I start with when I do the arms and stuff, I'll start with the hands and then work back up the arm as I get everything kind of in proportion and nice. And that seems to be kind of my modus operandi on those. So if I were to come back in here next, we might be doing the hands coming up. It's either going to be the hair probably coming up soon or the hands might be coming up soon. Or I might just get like the top of the sleeves by the shoulders kind of on him done first, and then from that go and do the hands. There are a number of directions this can kind of go from here. So we'll figure that out as we get closer to that point. But for right now, again, I don't need to bulk out the back like I had before the alien head, because again, when I put the hair on, it's going to fill in that section. It's just, I would like this to feel somewhat correct. Right now, everything is feeling all the wrong. But that'll be rectified. That will be fixed. Yeah, hopefully after this, I'll go for another probably easier run, probably like a 4-miler or something, nothing hard. And then, again, this is being done on Saturday, so tomorrow, I know you're probably seeing this, I forget if this is Saturday or, I think this is Saturdays next week, maybe Sundays, but when this actually gets posted. But yeah, in real time, tomorrow is Father's Day. So I might actually wind up a little bit behind on stuff. This is only the second video I've done today. And usually I've been doing kind of 4 per weekend. I've been doing 1 during the week and 4 during the weekends. So I'm only gonna have the face and the neck here done today. Tomorrow I might get 1 before going over and doing Father's Day things, and that might be it. So I'm gonna be a little bit behind where I want to be. But at the same time, I'm still going to be the week ahead. So it's not like it's in dire straits. That's still 100% fine. I'm not worried about that. But no, part of the reason I give myself that, I try to stay that week ahead right now, is for times like this. Sometimes things just don't work out the way we want it to. Life comes in. Life does things. Hey, all right, we're getting somewhere. How to build that neck down. Feeling a little better about that. That said, I am actually glad you guys are still watching, because after that first week, I wasn't sure. I figured the first few days you have like a whole bunch of people kind of tuning in, kind of see, oh, I'm kind of curious what's going on. But no, I'm very thankful you guys are still watching this. It's more than I anticipated seeing. There are more people than I anticipated actually tuning in every now and again. So thank you greatly for that. That's awesome. Again, my goal is just maybe kind of background noise or something. If you see something of interest, you can pop in, watch out, or watch how something is actually done. But it's more, if you do have something on, it's just, I'm assuming this is more kind of background noise to whatever else you're actually doing. And also, I know a number of times I've said before, like during get-togethers where I unveil models, like, oh, I spent like 30 hours doing this. Oh, I spent like 25 hours. You're getting an idea now of when I say something takes like 30 hours to do. Yeah, you can now see the pace that's required to get like a 30-hour thing in here. This is pretty much what the process is, and things are going a little quicker now. It feels like each time I'm out here now, we're actually making some kind of, at least now that the feet are done, we are making actual progress again, which is good. Every time we pop in, something is happening, something's looking good. We have a character. If nothing else, we have a character now. Which is good because I stopped playing the game like weeks ago. I think I was like playing the game a little while. I played it. I kind of started a few days before starting the model. I was kind of getting an idea of the character again. It's like, again, a lot of the guys and a lot of things a lot of the characters I do kind of have maybe personal things for me because this kind of it's like listening to music for me. I like listening to soundtracks. It kind of brings you back and kind of like, oh, I remember listening to this. I remember playing this game. I remember going through this part. And like a lot of these models are kind of like that for me. It's like, oh, I remember playing these things. I remember having fun with this stuff. So a lot of these might be personal to me. They just kind of harken back to certain either times in the life or certain games and stuff that I enjoy doing. And they harken back to something. So to you, it might have absolutely no meaning whatsoever, or it might be a stepping stone. Say, hey, I've never heard of this thing before. Maybe I can give it a shot and have fun with it. But yes, I did a little bit of playing stuff from the start, just kind of bring my mindset kind of back to this again. But yeah, I ran out of steam after like a week and a half. I did not last long on it this time. Partly because this was starting to take up more of the time as well. But and there's that little bit of you get again, most things I do or when I do the fighting games is just the challenge mode where you go and try to do the combo stuff. I don't actually really play the game. And I've gotten to a point again where it's like, well, feels like just about every challenge on there is going to take a lot of time to get them down and good. And I just didn't want to put the time into it this time. So I'm going to take a break, probably come back like I usually do in about 2 or 3 years, and give it like another week and a half or so, and maybe get some more. Maybe they'll come out with another game before then, because they haven't done a straight up Blaze Blue game in a while. Actually, other than Cross Tag Battle, I'm not sure if there has been any more kind of Blaze Blue stuff anytime recently. So, and that was the Blaze Blue and Persona crossover fighter. So, outside of those, actually, I'm gonna pump you over now because I want to see. The head doesn't stick up. Head definitely does stick up some ways, but it's not sticking up super far. I don't want to have like a giraffe neck going on here. That's kind of among the last things I want to see is a giraffe neck on this guy. So we're going to get him at least kind of started as such. We're going to pop him. That's enough to kind of get him popped up on here. Let's see. He does kind of. Let me zoom out just a little bit. Have you, if I come back out here, yeah. So he has, that bends up a little bit because he has a little bit of a tilt, just a little bit of a tilt to his head and down. So he's kind of like that. feel like I'm maybe a little far back. I want to be a little farther forward. He doesn't have the tilt on his neck. We want the tilt. Oh yeah, there we go. There's the tilt. That is an ugly looking face without the head. Wow. Okay, well, this is a look. It's definitely a look. Okay, let's see if we can do a lot of fixing here. Oh boy, oh dear. Alright, what do I want to do with this? I guess first thing is first, we need to build up this back of the neck here just a little bit. So I'm going to want you to kind of come down. And just to go with that, I'm going to put just... Oh boy, this glue has got to be like done with real soon, I have to imagine. I just want to put just a little bit on there, not much, but just enough to kind of stick a back layer on. Because again, fresh clay will stick to fresh clay. Fresh clay does not stick to pretty much anything else. So I just want to get a little something on here so that now if I want to blend on or do anything, I at least have that it can blend to. Yes, my problem right now is I think I have an idea of what character I want to do after Bang is done. And because I think I want to have two characters, and just like for the channel's sake, I don't know if you want to watch two right in a row, but I think for the channel's sake, I want to have at least a little bit of a backloggery going. So I'm probably going to do one more clay model before I do or jump onto anything else afterwards. And I think I have an idea on who I want to do for that. The trick now is just getting over the fact that it's still going to be quite a while before I can start the next one. So, or actually what I might do is maybe after this one's done, I might just take like a week or two break and like do an extra game, like maybe play a game or something and put on the stream, or just kind of take just a little bit of time off. But I do have an idea on when I come back who I want to do next after that. It's just a matter of waiting until I get to that point. Okay, let's see. I have you tilted down. If anything, you're going to be kind of tilted up. So we need you facing that direction. That's Again, one thing I'm generally not doing is I'm not doing like the super mainstream character. I've done a couple mainstream ones, but there are a couple mainstream ones that would be really fun to do, but they've just been done by so many other people so well before. People like a Cloud Strife from FF7, yeah, no, he is on my I can't do him. I've seen there are so many phenomenally well done versions of him that I'm just not even gonna touch that. You have like a Tara Bradford from FF6. It's kind of like another one of those that it would be really good to do, but there is a version of her which is unbelievably done. There's a version of her on the Magitech armor that was released, an official release of like, I think it was just a couple hundred of them made. 32, I think it's like 32 or 36 inches tall. So it's like a 2.5, 3 foot tall full structure. I should show images of that one on here, but you know, the model of her itself winds up being about the same size as mine, only the detailing on that is so unbelievably good. Detailing and painting where I feel good, I can get like the pupils of the eyes painted in and just like that, and they have like the rods and bars and all type of stuff within the eyes, like the retina and everything is all kind of the whole 9 yards is like so well done up on that one. It's like can't compete at all. You just see what some of the other ones are, and it's like I tend to now stay away from Well, that makes life easier, not having to deal with some things in the way. So there are a couple that I'm going to kind of stay away from. And like I said, I have a cat was like more of like a cult classic one. Rain from the Night Witch is another one that probably nobody's really heard of. That again, I have a YouTube person I watch who only gets like a couple views, kind of for an entire video. It may only get like 5, 10 views for a lot of them. He kind of does those types of things. So for me, the game may or may not be, but it's kind of like okay, it's like one of those kind of goes back towards that. But I'm liking some more of these kind of less known characters, I guess. So next one is probably it's not a super obscure one, but it's one of those I think a lot of people would go, "Oh, I wouldn't have even thought of doing that one." It's not that I don't know who the character is, it's more of like, "Oh, I wouldn't even thought of that one before." That's awesome. Which if you are watching this thing on the channel way after the fact, and you're coming in like years later, you can go, "Why is he hinting at it now?" You can just say who it is. It's already done. Well, because if you're watching this right now when it goes live, it's not done yet. So have to keep in mind, I have two different audiences going right now. I have people who watch it live and people who may come down here sometime in the future and wonder how this whole thing started out. Because who knows what direction this is going to go in the future. Like I said, I'm doing clay ones right now. I want to have at least 2 clay ones done, just so there is, if somebody is interested in looking at these down the line, they have something they can go off of. Like if you want to do like your own model and you want to like do and you want to know how something is made, it's like I want to figure out how to do hands. And you can go and I'll have a couple references for you on how to do that type of element. I think that's kind of where I'm going from. And actually, if I'm doing the neck, uh, that's not the right one. Maybe the one marked Bang's face rather than the one marked profile is the correct image to give you on the side. So that gives you an idea. It's a wider neck on the bottom is what I need to give him. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're doing pretty okay on time. We're not even halfway yet. So and we are starting to feel a little more in proportion to stuff. Like I said, if I can get this and the ears done, that would be good. Okay, so now that he's kind of supporting himself, I'll get in there. There we go. Yeah, all of a sudden the face that was looking kind of really small before is not looking as small anymore. It's actually kind of turning into something. It's I can't help but laugh at this. The face just looks so ridiculous right now. I might just I was leaning towards doing the sleeves and stuff first. I may just have to do the hair just to get this whole thing to work. Because it just looks so ridiculous at the moment. It's making me smile. It's one of those where something is definitely off. I'm not 100% sure what it is, but something definitely just feels off. Where are tools? Let's see. We want to be on camera. That's what we want. Okay. And now we start to actually start adding kind of the muscle structure to this, giving it the form that we need to make it feel right. Part of what I need to keep in mind is no hard edges on the muscles. That was a lot of what I was having a problem with here. Is I was kind of doing it down. I always had a hard edge like on something in here. You have to round things over. Things like chest, you have to round things over. I need to remember when you get to muscle kind of stuff, you can't just leave things like that. You need to kind of round stuff over a little bit. Oh, actually, if I fall behind, I realize if I'm falling behind on my scheduling this weekend, next week is not gonna be great for trying to get a schedule back again. I have two of the clients I've recently worked with and worked kind of for on various projects are both having kind of summer picnic things going on next week. So, actually, if I need to catch up with stuff, that might this might be an interesting week coming up. This might just be an interesting week. So, yeah, we are definitely doing one tomorrow morning before the day really gets started. I think that's now a given. And I might need to actually do more during the week. I know I've been kind of doing like one during the week recently, and I kind of pop everything else out on the weekend. I really can't do that this upcoming week. I really do need to actually get some stuff going. Like I said, the best part of my project or best part of my job is because we're with our clients for so long at a time. If we're there for like months at a time, you kind of become one of the family for a while. And so, yeah, no, we do come back for these types of things. We do keep in touch with all stuff. We come back for like these kind of little get-togethers and whatnot. It does kind of become really nice that way. It just happen to have multiple of them coming together now at kind of the same time is a little awkward. But okay, we're getting somewhere. That's coming in. Let's see if we can get. We need you to come in a little more that way. Okay, I am on camera. That's good. For a brief bit, I was worried that I wasn't. Not that I'd ever be off camera when doing this type of thing. No, that would never happen. Never, never, never. Yeah, so I guess because my I guess because of my schedule coming up this week, that means it might mean the next week we'll see if I wind up doing less production on these just because of everything coming up. I may go and do a Tuesday, Thursday rather than a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But we're going to see if I do something like that. I'll put it in the comments. I'll put it in the description session of the ones before, just so you're not expecting one when it doesn't appear or whatnot. But yeah, no, it will be kind of a little bit of a crazy week coming up. Then again, I have enough of a backloggery going. Like I said, I'm usually about 5 sessions ahead of where I need to be, give or take. So I do have a backloggery to account for this type of situation. But at the same time, if I don't get my requisite ones completely done in time, just go through the description section, and I'll probably write something in there beforehand saying that whether or not I'll have things in on time or not. I should be okay though, but just in case, would be good for you to know. Okay, so we have... I'm looking at my preview. I can't really see much on the preview itself. So, just kind of given its size. But the neck definitely has definition to it at this point. I feel like this this half on this side though, just isn't quite getting there enough. So let's just add that little bit. And then really once this is in, then ears are kind of the only thing left, and then we are ready to go. And I'm looking at my watch, and once again, I think we're going to be hardening things off camera, because ears are going to take, I know we still have like 25 whatever minutes to go, but ears are generally going to take a little bit of time as well. And then hardening also takes, unless I just do a longer session, just to kind of put it on here so you can see how I'm cutting things down and cutting things off to size. But all right, in any event, we have a head on here. Time to see what we can do on the ear front, because yeah, the back's not looking too bad there. Actually, a scarf comes up. If we were to swap this back over again, that doesn't really show much. I didn't say the scarf comes up back, but no, you see the hair comes all the way kind of down to the back here. So even if that part's not, we're still okay. Okay, ears. I don't really have much to go off of because you can't really see his ears on really any of these views. So we're just gonna actually, ears would have been easier to do before I put all this stuff together. Whoops. Whoops-a-doodle. Alright, so we're going to try to get two kind of roughly similarly sized pieces here. Let's not mix them up with the others. Get kind of an ear-shaped lobe going. I kind of forgot to mention in the last session, being both of these are being done on the same day. Went for a run last night, and somebody was setting off fireworks in our area. And I'm not really sure what was up with that. They were setting them off for a good long. It was like a 9 o'clock run. It was a late run. I didn't get out until, yeah, I forget what I was doing before, but I just didn't get out of the house until late to do that. But yeah, every now and again there's some time of the year just like people set them off, and I just don't understand why. I finally figured out some of them in the fall. I realized like Festival of Lights, I think it is one of the ones that kind of always surprised me in the end. Like it's like random time in autumn, and all of a sudden fireworks are shooting off. I'm like, wait, what? What's happening? I don't know what this is. So I know there are different holidays being celebrated at different points in time, but yesterday, I don't know. I don't know what it was, but somebody was definitely setting off some. I couldn't see them over the trees, but you could hear them, and they were going off for a good long while. Okay, right now this does not look good. So let's see if we can make this look less not good, otherwise known as better. So you come down, you come in. We can always shrink this stuff. That's doable. These are really kind of, they feel like really big ears. It could just be I made them thick too. That's always a possibility. I'm always amazed when I look at myself using the knife to cut things, because this feels like a very natural kind of hold on the knife. And I look at myself actually cutting it, or actually cutting stuff on like the display and stuff, or on the videos afterwards. I'm like, how the heck am I holding that and making it work? It doesn't look like a natural way to hold this thing. I've already gotten over the "this is what my voice sounds like" thing. That was the weirdest one, because I think I'd posted like the first. It was either like the first or second. It was probably the first video, and I walk upstairs. It's been online it's the next day after I posted it, and I have my brother is out there in his room, and I hear my voice coming from his room. It was like just the weirdest kind of what scenario. Oh, I know that voice. Wait a minute, what? That just it's if you've never done something like that before, it's a bizarre first feeling. Like, wait, huh? But no, I've since gotten used to that. I still haven't gotten used to seeing how I hold anything. It just something just feels off with that. Okay, so we have kind of ear number one in there, and that's generally okie dokie. And I really don't need to detail out the ear too much because it is more or less hidden in the end. He has so much kind of that bushy hair thing going that his ears are just, you won't even, generally speaking, you might see a little bit through there, but you're not going to see a whole lot. So I'm not going to, I should go nuts on it. At the same time, I'm kind of in that, do I really need to go nuts on this part? Probably not. Alright, so either way, we're still going to blend it. Still going to blend you in there. And once again, we try to do what we can to just cut a little bit. Now, on one hand, I could just kind of push things down to smooth it in there. And that could be a very viable thing, except when you're doing something so thin, it's going to push out the back. And again, if you push in clay in one area, it will come back out in a different one. So this, even though it doesn't take much to cut straight through the whole thing, it really is worth trying to cut out some of this extra stuff. Just so if you push it in, it's not going into, or it's not getting kind of popped out to a weird area. Alright, so now we want to smooth this out. Again, we need the ear to kind of feel like it's part of the face, part of the head. Maybe not the face, but the head. I do just want to shrink the ears a little bit. Both of them. They are just so huge. Okay, that's feeling much better. They were huge. Okay, they were really, really big before. This is a little more in proportion to what we need. You're just a little bit thick. Ah, get off my hand. Let go. All right, and just like that, we have ears. So we can pop him on here, slide everything over, and we have a character going. That is still a really, really derpy smile thing happening. Let's see, we're still kind of rocking a little bit on that, so if I wanted to avoid some of that rocking, what I can do is, once again, grab a little bit of glue, put a little bit on this side, and just kind of attach a little bit to the bottom here. Again, I don't want much at all. I just want a little bit on here just to kind of help keep him from rocking. Now I don't need to add this at this time. I'm going to have multiple hardenings of this upper body part. So if I don't get this right now, that's not a problem. I'm going to have multiple opportunities to kind of fine tune this as it goes. But if I put a little bit kind of on the bottom corner there, that should help keep it from just a little bit of moving around. Yeah. Now if he goes in, now he's kind of staying. Now he's kind of staying how I want him to. Not sure that face is correct, but we've got a dude. That really deep set brow is going to cause all sorts of problems because if I have an overhead light, the light is like literally right above me. So there's always going to be that shadow line that makes him look like this evil orc kind of character until all is said and done. And apologize for that. But okay, well, if we're here, actually, before I do that, how are we going to, we are going to want to slice the head. Again, once it goes in, he has the band that comes across, and so we want this to kind of be in the middle of that. This hand is not helping things. At all. You can always tell when I stop talking like this, I'm actually kind of concentrating. Spoiler, yeah, I do have to actually concentrate sometimes on what I'm doing if I want this to turn out correct in the end. And actually, I'm surprised I didn't actually have to cut the metal wire. That does kind of surprise me. I thought for sure that metal wire was going to have to be cut. But okay, so we have that kind of cut through. Let's get this little thing out. We don't need that. I said get out. Nope, don't get stuck somewhere else. That's the opposite of what we want. All right, what time are we? We still have a few minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and do this. So I've already just in case we were going to, I prepared a base for him. So what I'm gonna do is I have a little wire here. It's gonna go inside the bottom of that. He can lean on here, and now the air can go all around, everywhere on him. And what I didn't prepare was I didn't bring out my mineral spirits. But they are right here. And we're gonna get to this. Okay, so we're just going to get a little bit on everything here. Alright, so we're basically hitting all the goals I wanted to on this, which does mean then that next time, like I said, there are going to be a whole lot of different directions I can go in next time, which is really, really good. It'll give me something to think about tonight. Because right now I'm kind of 50-50 whether I want to do kind of the sleeves and the jacket and get this part done, or whether just seeing this, he deserves to have the hair done next. I'm right now I am 50-50 on the two, and both of them are 100% viable. But because I knew there was a chance I would be doing this, I have already pre-gotten this ready to go. And let's see. Usually it's a front and back thing. Being as his face has already been done, we're going to do a side-to-side dealie on this head. And let's go and slide a whole bunch of things out of the way. And we're going to go the full 4.5 minutes on this thing again. We're not going to short it, despite the fact that it's kind of just a head. So I'm starting at 8:09 on my watch. So 8:13:30 is where we're going to go on that. And let's see, let me make sure I've got my gloves. So that's ready to go. And I need one more thing. I just like putting one of these guys on the board so when I pull this down, the shield here isn't hitting the table itself, which I didn't do before. And I don't have another model prepared for this heating session, but what I can do is back on, say, I think it was session 6, I did my bad drawing one. And I've said a number of times since then, I can actually draw some things while I have a captive audience here. And while he's doing his thing, of which I am keeping track of the time, kind of. I just want to go ahead and show that, again, back in college I did some character kind of drawings and whatnot. So if we come, I have some of these. Going from like Golden Sun, we have Gina from Golden Sun. I think that was like Mia. We have Isaac. What's that? Malin from Ocarina of Time. We have a young Link. And we have the adult Link. So I can do some of these types of drawings. Like I said, this isn't what I call, for me, it's not relaxing. If you want to go, like I said, also more recently, I had done a couple other ones, and if I actually had the front of the book facing up, that would be even better. But I mean, yeah, this was a couple years ago, and I kind of started off with the drawings again. I'd done a couple of these, with just kind of finding random images kind of online and going off of that. So I can do this. Hey, there's Cat. I like Cat. Cat is such a great character in the game. Gravity Rush is such a good game. I love that one. Technically, I've only played Gravity Rush 2, but it's such a good game. Like I said, I've done a bunch. There's my Marissa again. This is classic Marissa from actual Toho rather than the Tohovania one. But I can do the drawing stuff. I have done it before. I know how. I have a system for it. I tend to have a very kind of heavy hand to it. It's just like I said, I enjoy doing 3D stuff more than 2D stuff. But who knows, maybe somewhere down the line, if I get the urge, I can do like a drawing or two on camera. There would be probably longer sessions. I might do like a 2 or 3 hour, just like one session, kind of go whole thing, whole 9 yards, get that done real quick, and that would be that. But no, it is something that I can entertain the idea of doing again. It's just been now a couple years since I've had to do that. Whoop, and there goes the book. And what time are we? I have another minute to go on here. Again, this was a college sketchbook for maybe a Steiner house. I mean, here's what college was. It was drawing these types of things. Or at least until I got bored and started doing my own kind of doodles on the side. Hey, that was my freshman dorm. Yeah, no, there's not much in this one. I have other ones that were kind of more predominantly geared towards the college stuff, but that one kind of never got filled, so I just kind of flipped to a random page and started doing random stuff. But anyway, gloves on. Action's about to happen over here as we have hit time. So I'm going to take you, turn you around. Like I said, he was a little soft the first time, so 18, 45. So I have 8:13:45 on my watch. It's either about 8:16:15 is the time I'm going for, about 2.5 minutes. And then he will be good. Let's see, let me get one more of these to stick on over here too. Alright, we got that. I'll stick that one there. I'll stick this one here just to keep things from burning. We don't want things to burn. Then we're going to go slice, once again, just like the first hardening, slice them up into parts, and we are all good and done. I love how these gloves became my hardening gloves. These actually kind of have the story to them. When I did my Spartan Ultra that I used to qualify for Worlds the one time, this was the first pair of gloves I actually wore during that race. And they've since been retired and used for this. And that's because this broken part here, I was sliding down a slope kind of towards a river to kind of cross in the woods, and I got speared with a stick that ripped this off. So thankfully that's the worst that happened. If that had been like an inch or two off a different direction, that could have been really, really bad, because you can imagine if it's enough force to do that to the side of the glove, if that hits any other part of the body, that could actually do some real damage. But no, These gloves do have a history. These are my world championship winning, or not winning, but qualifying ones that have just since kind of been retired now from use. And I use this just because this has become a safety hazard for races, so I can't use it in a race anymore. But it just is what it is. I guess I could be looking in here, have you guys going, ooh, wow, look at this. But it's super exciting. He has another like 15 seconds. I'll pull it out, and we're gonna do the fun part and see if we can chop his head off. Temporarily. It will look good in the end. Trust me, like before, it will look good in the end. Okay. That is done. He had hits 2.5 minutes. Now we can pull you out. Alright, normally I keep that open just so it can kind of air out a little bit and cool off naturally. But for the purpose of this, alright, can we... Okay, you're a little toasty. I feel like it's easier trying to... Let me put the left-hand one here. How do we do it like this? Okay, good. The colorization has changed a little bit this time, and that's kind of what we want to see. I do want to see a different color, because that means it's starting... It hasn't fully gotten itself in trouble, but it is still... It's hit that point of hardening, so that pulled out really, really easy. And there we go. We now have nothing that you can see on camera. So we have the neck portion up there, we have the head, he's got that killer smile going on, and that is where we stand. So, whoop-a-doop-a-doop, you stay there, you go up here, and yeah, this is where we are. We now we're getting our family of parts going. So that's where we are, and like I said, we're either going to do hair or we're going to do the jacket stuff. I'm not 100% sure which it's going to be next time, but you'll tell instantly by whoever I label the video as it goes up. You'll know before you even click on it, but yeah, that's where we are, and until then, enjoy.